The House has voted to pass a measure that would suspend the debt ceiling through mid-December of 2022. The final vote was 219 to 212, with lawmakers voting largely along party lines. The bill now heads to the Senate for a vote. Meanwhile, time is running out to avert a government shutdown. Failure to do so by midnight Thursday would impact multiple agencies and leave thousands of federal employees furloughed. At the same time, President Biden is also working to get two of his top legislative priorities passed. First, his $1 trillion package focused on funding traditional infrastructure like roads and railways. The second is a social spending measure with a $3.5 trillion price tag. CBS News congressional correspondent Kris Van Cleave has the latest on all of this from Capitol Hill.
But we should never, ever let the government shut down. That's simply unacceptable.
Senate Democrats are closing in on a deal tonight to fund the government through December 3rd and avoid furloughing hundreds of thousands of workers and impacting critical federal agencies during a pandemic, a measure aimed at garnering bipartisan support tomorrow.
Democrats don't want to shut down the government. Republicans don't want to shut down the government.
And with the Treasury running out of money to pay the government's bills, a possible economic default looms October 18th if Congress does not raise the federal debt limit.
This would literally be a default of stupidity by our colleagues on the other side of the aisle.
Tonight, the president is working the phones and twisting arms, hoping to save his legislative agenda ahead of next year's midterm elections.
We're obviously at a precarious and important time in these discussions.
Progressives are promising to sink Mr. Biden's key infrastructure bill tomorrow in the House if there's no deal on their priority, his massive $3.5 trillion social spending bill. Standing in the way are two Senate Democrats, Arizona's Kyrsten Sinema and West Virginia's Joe Manchin, whom the president has negotiated with numerous times in recent days.
I'm looking forward to having good negotiations in a good faith manner, okay?
Senator Manchin is doubling down, calling the plan to spend trillions of dollars fiscal insanity, but he says he is open to sitting down and trying to find a path forward through good faith negotiations. What he is making clear is there will not be an agreement before the House's planned infrastructure vote Thursday. Lana?
All right, Kris, thank you. For more on this, I want to bring in Siobhan Hughes. She's a congressional reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Hi there, Siobhan. So the House just passed the bill, but the bigger hurdle has always been the Senate. Does it look like there will be any GOP support for this stopgap bill to extend government funding?
It does look like there will be GOP support for the stopgap bill to continue government funding. You heard John Cornyn say that Republicans didn't want a government shutdown. By and far, continuing government spending, avoiding a shutdown on Thursday night is the most viable of the legislative items that are on Democrats' agenda right now. Everything else is where the real rub is.
Well, let's talk about the October 18th deadline to either raise or suspend the debt ceiling. Republicans have called the issue a non-starter. They want Democrats to raise the debt ceiling on their own. Explain to our viewers, do Democrats need the GOP for this? And if they don't, why are they hesitant to just go ahead and do it themselves?
So Democrats do have a couple of options for attempting to raise the debt ceiling themselves, but none of these is a good option. Legislatively, they could reopen the procedures that they plan to use to pass that big $3.5 trillion welfare plan and add an increase to the debt ceiling to that. But time is really running short. Budget experts that we've spoken to say it would take about 15 days in order to reopen up that process, set up a vote likely on a standalone debt ceiling bill, and enable it to pass the Senate with all Democrats and only Democrats before October 18th. There are a couple of other options that are not in the hands of Congress, but outside of it. So, for example, President Biden could rely on the 14th Amendment and unilaterally raise the debt ceiling, but he'd likely get sued. So, a real pickle right now for the Democrats.
Siobhan, speaking of the president and the pickles that he's in, he's fighting with members of his party, both in the moderate side and the progressive side. Let's start first with the moderates. He's been meeting with them. They remain opposed to the price tag on his $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill. What more can you tell us about that bill's current chances?
Well, I mean, it's hard to really overstate the degree to which Joe Biden and Kyrsten Sinema are dictating the terms of this negotiation. Neither of them has budged.
I think you mean
until
Manchin,
that
right?
happens,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Manchin, yeah. Neither of them has budged.
Yes.
And until that happens, everything else is on hold, because what Democrats need is for Manchin and Sinema, those two senators, to say what level of spending they are willing to accept. And then everybody can write a bill to those numbers. Neither of those senators is saying what that number is. And so, excuse me, we're now stalled.
And both of them, it's worth noting for our viewers, are in districts where it's razor thin between Republicans and Democrats. So let's also talk about the problems that the president's facing on the progressive side of his party in terms of that $1 trillion infrastructure package. It obviously has more bipartisan support, but progressives are threatening it. They threaten that they're actually going to vote against the $3.5 trillion, or to vote against that $1 trillion traditional infrastructure bill unless that $3.5 trillion package passes the Senate. Can Democrats actually afford to lose any votes in the House if they want to pass this traditional infrastructure bill on Thursday?
Well, if Democrats were to pass this with only Democratic votes, they could lose no more than 3. That said, there are some Republicans who have said they will support this infrastructure package. For example, Don Young of Alaska, whose state would reap enormous benefits from the package, Fred Upton of Michigan. So it's not quite as narrow as we would think. That said, it's not a big margin either. And progressives are very clear that they're viewing this public works package, this physical infrastructure, as a bargaining tool. It is their bargaining chip to try to drive home to the moderates that that larger $3.5 trillion package needs to be shaped in a way that favors progressive priorities.
It'll be interesting to see how all of that plays out. Siobhan, thank you.
Thank you.